In a previous video, I already mentioned the fact of being a transgender. Just this sexuality of mine condemned me to a life of perpetual solitude, as I don't have a body to express my sexuality, and therefore when I was in outside world, I lived my relationship with strangers as a trauma. It annoyed me to be looked at by women, as well as a male, to be looked at by women, and it made me suffer that I could never aspire to make a man understand that I liked him. And on the other hand, I'm not sexually attracted to homosexuals. So the only choice I have, if I want to have a relationship with a partner, would be to propose myself to the world in woman's clothes, or to undergo a gender change surgery. Obviously, with the life I will never have the opportunity to face such a traumatic experience as that of gender change. Also, because I'm not an independent person, and the fact that I never knew for sure if I am a boy or a girl. Um, this left me all my life in a sort of limbo from which I never managed to get out. After the age of 30, the fact that I was forced to consider myself a male by society has marked me so hard that I have never been able to leave my room again. I retired from the world to seek protection, and so I hid myself to avoid looking at myself in the mirror and in the eyes of those who would be in front of me, and having to admit that I was a living biological error. The most serious problem I had was with women. Often, especially middle-aged women, took advantage of my handicap and of the fact that when I took the train to go to university, I was always alone and silent. So they sit close to me and touch my legs, arms, rubbing their legs against mine, rubbing their feet against mine, even if they were married, and I had made them understand that I was not interested. This made me suffer a lot, and I began to harbor a hatred towards women that led to a pathological phobia. I am not a person who can react when subjected to harassment, so when a woman sat next to me, I suffered in silence, trembling with anger and frustration, while the lady on duty, when the woman believed that I was pleased that she rubbed me and winked at me. I fell ill with nervous exhaustion because of this behavior, and which I consider very shameful, whether it was a man or a woman who had it. And so I decided to shut myself in a house to never go out again. I know the fault is mine, in the sense that I walked on the street in men's clothes because my parents would never have accepted me being a transgender. But this did not authorize another woman beings to another human being to try to physically attack me with such a clear contempt for every good manners and respect for the other person. Today I am terrified of being seen by a female human being, because I am always afraid that she may decide to touch me or to throw me or to look at me and consider me a man she can harass or she can seduce. This alters the balance that I built in my limbo, and will make me weigh the fact of not having a true body of mine. a body with which to manifest my sexuality. I believe that my unease with women I meet in real life has something to do with the bad relationship I have always had with my mother. I never felt accepted or loved by her, and this created an irremediable internal wound, which I could only heal if I had transformed myself into her and forgiven myself for my unhappy life, for my unhappy fate. This story can also be a good for to advise every human being about the respect that is due for the other person, whether it is a man or a woman, whether it is young or old, and also means not having. I also wants to invite you not to have invasive or malicious attitudes towards the object of your attention, especially if this object shows not to be interested in what you may want from him or her. Obviously, I don't blame women if I was born with a body that is not mine. Perhaps my reaction is exaggerated, but long years of suffering and forced isolation have led me to be all too sensitive in any kind of approach with the other sex, the other sexuality. I hope that one day a stable and satisfied sentimental relation will allow me to overcome this great irrational phobia of mine. Thank you. See you in the next video.